ones.
Right.
And are all those full yet?
No.
Because we're supposed to be loading up like 14
Right.
more or something coming up this year.
Right. There's room for them to operate until their extended license. They would have to get some. They would have to put out an additional, pad for spent fuel. But there's enough real estate, in the area that they have.
So we
for
could
the
just
spent-
keep buying real estate and keep putting
Well, there's
pads
enough.
out
There's
there.
there's enough real estate that's already been approved where they've already looked at the amount.
Dominion asked for a relief request to not do another, what's it called?
Type A testing.
Well, that and then also relief from for some other kind of interval period, a 10-year inspection.
Right, that's the Type A testing. Most facilities have already gone to 15 years.
Okay, but we
Most
had an
facilities.
earthquake and we have
Right,
higher
but-
levels
right,
of stuff coming out. And it seems like, why wouldn't we want to?
Well, I mean, you say higher levels of stuff, they're all within the limits of the design and within the limits of the code.
But
They
they're
haven't
higher
exceeded
than, but
anything.
they're higher than EPA drinking water levels. Like,
For a period of time, they were, and they have come down. I mean, you know how much the lake, you know what the tritium level in the lake is? Well, if you read if you get water in Ashland or you look around here, the lake is running around, 3,500 to 5,500. They go periods of years. So the lake, if you put a well on site and you're getting around 3,500 to 5,500, which is basically where these wells are,
okay.
that's almost the level of the lake.
Okay. So when we are testing for the lake temperature for the Wake Heat Treatment Center,
Correct?
are we taking the temperature of the lake by the dam, or are we taking it in the middle of the lake? Where are we taking that temperature?
They have temperatures all over the lake.
Well, the one I'm seeing on the Dominion site that shows lake temperature, discharge water temperature. Where are those gauges coming in from?
Well, they have multiple gauges. The one you're talking about, the one that's on the Dominion website. We looked at that one also. That one is the one that's coming right off the end of it's either the end of the discharge canal or it's the weir, the third weir. There's three of them, so it's the last discharge before it goes into the main lake.
That's the discharge, but where for the intake or for the lake temperature? Where are they taking that temperature?
Well, they take temperatures all over the lake. They take
Oh,
them.
but the number I'm seeing online, I see a lake temperature, and then I see a discharge that they keep up 15 minutes intervals that tell
Right,
you
the discharge temperature is at the end of the discharge canal.
Okay, but the lake temperature is just
The lake temperature would be the inlet where the circulating water comes into the plant.
so right when it's right where
Right when it's
coming.
coming in, correct. That's the lake temperature. That is the lake. The waste heat treatment, where they update it, that's at the end of the discharge.
And how
canal.
far is that from where the temperature discharge from the facility? How far? How many feet or how far is it?
It's the length of the canal. I don't know, from here to the railroad tracks,
Like half a mile?
half a mile.
Something like that?
Yes.
So my question would be, though, too, is on their heat waste treatment facility on the website, they're updating the temperature of the lake like at 10 o'clock in the morning. And I'll see it when I get online in the morning, and they'll still have yesterday's temperature. I mean, why aren't they in the morning when they start doing the discharge temperatures? Why aren't they related together? Like where it's got the morning temperature, like today's date, today's temperature.
We don't require them to put that temperature out. I can talk to them and ask them.
but
I'll ask them why.
That doesn't make sense. It's almost kind of like, well, it's just off. And not only that, but there's been times where there's totally missing data, where like they took like an 8-day hiatus where there was nothing posted. So
I know. Well, you can either ask them or I'll ask them. I'll ask them and see why that information is not readily available. I mean, you can call them. If you don't see the information, you can either call me or Ron, and I'll talk to them to make sure that if that's something that's important to you, we'll make sure it's out there.
Well, I'd
I mean,
like
I look at it too. I mean, I'm the same
Well, I mean,
way.
I'm curious. If I don't see the data, I'm like, well, why have the site if you don't have the
And
data?
I'm the same way. If I didn't see it, I'd agree with you.
And then this past year, December, the RCS leak from Unit 1.
Correct.
I guess there was a hot and cold leg drain line in the elbows or something. What happened with that? Did y'all have to do some more welding or replacement parts?
Right now, our job is to make sure the people and the paper and the equipment are in agreement with the regulations.
Okay.
So we're not doing any of the welding. We're reviewing what they've done and make sure it's complete.
So did they fix it?
Yeah, they fixed it. Oh yeah, definitely.
Because there was also-
they basically cut that piece of pipe out and welded in a new piece of pipe.
Okay, and that was for Unit 1.
Correct, Unit 1.
And so, as it goes for the seal issue that they had, some seal or something that was not good, or something happened to a seal last year, or was it the memo of something about flow seal?
Flow Serve.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, but the Flow Serve N9000 is a seal on the reactor coolant pump.
Okay.
They're replacing those seals. That's part of their Fukushima Beyond Design.
Yeah, because
basis
one unit
design.
already had a couple of them, and one
Right.
unit didn't have them, or something.
Right. Unit 1 was the last unit. The Bravo reactor coolant pump was the last pump that had to get that seal, and they just finished that up in March.
Okay.
So you have 3 loops. It's a Westinghouse 3-loop.
Okay.
And there's a reactor coolant pump in each loop. All those pumps have the Flow Serve N9000 seal.
Okay. So the seals are done.
This is a seal on the pump.
Right.
So what they do is they inject water through the seal as it's spinning to
Right.
keep it cool. So if they lost all AC power, you're not injecting water through that seal anymore.
Okay.
So you can have a leak.
Right.
Well, no one wants a leak
Right.
inside, the containment building. So these seals are designed for longer periods of time and higher temperatures, and essentially they're called zero leakage seals, or very low. So if you lost all AC, which is an analysis they look at, you wouldn't have a problem with the water coming out of the system. The water comes out of the system, you lose water from the reactor. You lose water from the reactor overheats. So these seals are a great improvement. They're designed to improve the safety of the plant.
Well, that's good. And I guess the other thing was, what's one other thing I was going to ask? I asked about that.
You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait a year to come and talk.
No, I'm busy.
You should come and call us every quarter.
No.
You should call us every month. You shouldn't wait.
Well,
I don't know why you're waiting.
Well, the reason why is probably because I'm a single mom and I work full time, and I attend the NRC meetings for Unit 3, and I'm very discouraged because, we should not be going on California data. I'm highly annoyed with that. I'm highly annoyed to think that we're going to even think about putting a third unit up there, because that would be putting all our eggs in one basket. So I think that would be a
But if
very bad idea.
you see something that you don't,
Well, no,
you got
but
a
these
concern
reports,
with,
but
I
these
know that-
reports, look, it was released here.
Right. Well,
okay?
that's an annual report. That's why. So all those questions are going to come out in the annual.
So but what I'm saying is, Joel.
But if you see something on the website or you have a concern, you just call us. You
But
tell
look,
us
I
you
would
got
have
a
been saying the
problem.
same thing though, because y'all are not testing for the other stuff. NA, not testing. You're not. There's nothing being performed for the other stuff. Not in the first quarter, not the second quarter, not the third quarter, not the fourth quarter. NA. Why?
Well, the required minimums, the required samples are being taken. The way they lay that
No,
out,
that's what they say. Not detected.
well,
But
like
it says
none.
right-
It says none detected.
ND.
Yeah.
There's
None
very
detected. That means a sample was taken and there was none detected.
right. But what
NA
I'm
means they didn't take a sample.
okay, well, look at that. Look at all those NAs. Look at all the NAs. Nothing's being tested. Well, I take that back. They did a few of them down here.
Right,
with
but all these wells right here, all these
Right.
GEP,
Right.
groundwater protection,
Right.
all those wells are for tritium only. They're only
Oh,
installed
they're
for tritium.
only for
Yes,
tritium.
they're
So
only
then
for
why
tritium.
even have this data over here?
Well, I
then?
mean, you could. it's an Excel spreadsheet. I'm sure they could show it a little
Well,
better.
then that's not helpful.
It's a little confusing, and then we can provide that
Okay, and then I
feedback.
think the other issue I had too, though, is I'd like to know where are those gardens situated in relation to the plant? Because y'all moved one, and then there's like four. It was like again, there's always missing data for vegetation samples. And
Right, I'll have to follow up on that.
it's always like that, though.
Well, I don't know if it's always. I'll follow.
Almost always.
Okay. I'll
Some
follow
years there's
up on
been
it.
no data
I
for
mean,
the
there was a
whole
lot
year.
of snow and cold weather, so
Now I can go out there and grab some grass.
if there's no cold, if they're looking for leafy things, they probably didn't get them because of the snow. But I'll follow up
Well,
on
I really think
where
you
the
need to
garden
follow.
is and what they're doing.
Well, because
I know what you're talking about. I looked at it too.
I'm just saying that
It said
it's-
no samples taken.
Right.
But, you got to look at the months that they're taking the samples.
one was like in April.
All right.
It was like
I'll-
April. It was 6 months out of the year.
I'll
I'm a
follow-
gardener. I
I'll
can
follow up
find
on
it.
it. I would be surprised too. I agree with you. If it's not there, it should
And,
be
and,
there.
and, and how far are these gardens from the facility?
And I'll have to find that information. I don't
I'd
know.
like to know because I have a lot of friends in the area, and they're all very concerned because here's like, and I'm a gardener in Western Rico, and the thing is, it's kind of like, well, I mean, we know that all those different isotope, and it shows it there. Come on, Erica. I mean, we know we're getting, look at this, 131. I mean, we know we're getting this stuff that's coming out
Yeah,
of the
but this is
facility.
summation of all gases
The
released.
gas is going.
Well,
Travel with it with.
we've approved liquid as long as it's monitored and it's below our limit, and we've approved gases.
Okay, but don't most
not
of
like
these
it's-
things
it's
have
not gonna be
longer
zero.
half-lives? So in other words, if I
Well,
had a property that was
every
10 miles away and those gases came out on my property all the time,
I know, but
wouldn't it accumulate?
You'd have to look at the numbers. This is so small, it's barely detectable.
Well, how do you say, so what do you mean it's barely detectable? What exactly does that mean then?
Well, this is a rate on how much is coming out.
That's per
I
second?
mean, we can look, we can go through these and we can.
I
get
mean,
the
I really am
limits on it
curious
and
because
find out why.
I'm seeing more this time, and then like the argon. I mean, I didn't see these before. So it's always usually not detected, and that's when I start, asking krypton, or is it something else? Fission activated. Yeah. I mean, I'm used to looking at these. I don't know what they all are, but I'm used to seeing when it says not detected, not detected. So then when I start seeing things that are detected, of course I'm going, okay, well, what's going on? Why are we? I mean, I've been following you guys for some years now, and I'm used to seeing things. But when I start seeing stuff that's detectable, then I start, obviously asking questions.
If you have a question, I have a question.
Okay, you have a card? Because I tried calling you one time, and you know what I was told? The public cannot talk to the senior inspector. I was like, really?
I'm sorry you heard that.
And I said, I've always been able
Barbara-
to talk. You know what she told me? She goes, well, whoever answered your call before didn't know what they were talking about. I was like, really?
Barbara, our esteemed colleague, has since retired.
God, she was a crabby lady.
But we miss her. She did a great job for us.
Well, she wasn't good for the public. Though.
It may
She
have
was
been
mean.
maybe it was a mad day for her.
She told me
She means very well. She was one of the nicest people we had working for us for 15 years. She's moved on.
Well, she wasn't very nice to me.